So in recent years, the new legislations define new standards in terms of data protection and privacy has been established. So the European General Data Protection Regulation and the California Consumer Privacy Act are two of the most notable examples, which define sensitive data related to health, political opinions, religious belief, sexual orientation, and racial ethnic origin. So those legislations ensure data protection and safeguard online content that contains sensitive data. But how do we detect whether the content of URL related to any of the sensitive data? So in the previous work, identifying sensitive URL at web page. So Martic trained a classifier to detect whether the content of URL related to any sensitive category defined by GDPR with a very high accuracy. In their work, they found that 30% of URLs that are hosted in a domain that fail to use HTTPS. Also, in sensitive web pages with third-party cookies, the 87% of the third party set at least one persist cookies. This means being tracked when visiting web pages that contain sensitive content, for example, related to health, is the elephant in the room of privacy. So we want to protect users by warning them about the presence of URLs that contain sensitive content. Therefore, we built a classifier and browser extension capable of detecting URLs that contain sensitive content in real time. So when you visiting a web page, it pop up and show what category that the web page falls in. So this is for the transparency awareness, for blocking or just filling the complaints, etc. But there are some limitation about the previous work. There's centralized classifier. They can't fulfill our task. It's because despite it has very high accuracy, it can have two limitations. The first is tied to a fixed training set, which means it's difficult to quickly cover the label related to yet unseen sensitive content. For example, is the COVID-related content, which only appear after 2020. And the second limitation is that it is centralized, which means it cannot be used to drive a privacy-preserving distributed classification system because all the data are stored in the server. So to overcome these limitations, Federated Learning is a promising solution by conducting a distributed privacy-preserving model training. Here is a general process of Federated Learning. I just give it a brief introduce. And the first, the central server will just choose a global model and transmit it to the clients. And clients train this model locally with their data. And after training, server just pull off the updates instead of data and just aggregate it to a global model. So in this case, the server have no access to any data. By using Federated Learning and the classifier can continuously learn from real-time web data gathered by user, and also because the user training this classifier locally using personal data without sending their data to the server. So this maintains the security and privacy of the user. First, we built a basic Federated Learning classifier for classifying the sensitive content. Instead of using the naive Bayes, which used a centralized classifier, we use a very simple neural network with a fat average. And we observed that there is only a small accuracy difference between the centralized one and federated classifier. But it's just not everything is perfect. You can see the federated learning has its own shortcoming. Federated learning, due to the nature that the server has no access to any data, the federated learning is very vulnerable to poisoning attacks, which are mounted by the malicious clients that may intentionally train their local model with poison data, and then send updates to reduce the classification accuracy for the global model, such as the label flipping and the backdoor attack. Okay, we know that there are several Byzantine robust defense methods that has been developed, but recent study has shown that several methods are still vulnerable to poisoning attack because they are forgettable by not tracking information from previous aggregation method. This demonstrates that the importance of incorporating the client's previous long-term performance when we just want to evaluate their trustworthy. So, therefore, we designed a robust federated learning aggregation method to generate reputation score of clients based on their historical behaviors. Here is the overview of our reputation-based aggregation algorithm. It's consisting of two main parts. In that corner, you can see is the tag detection scheme and the reputation model. So, in the first step is server choose a global model and broadcast it to all the clients, and all the clients train the model locally and send their updates back to the attack detection scheme. And in the step 3, during the aggregation, first the attack detection scheme identify the suspicious updates and reduce the impact of them. Then we use a subjective logic reputation model to produce the client's reputation score as the aggregation weights. Then we aggregate the local updates. In the step 4, the server updates the global model. Now we go to the detail about our attack detection scheme. At every iteration, when model updates from clients arrive at the server, here, we first apply a rescaling algorithm to rescale the range of the value for this parameter in the update. And then a repeat median regression is carried out to identify outliers among the updates in the current run. Okay. After that, based on normalized residue from repeated median regression, we employ the ERLS scheme to generate the confidence interval, which you see the blue area, and each parameter confidence value. Okay. Once the server recognizes that an update with confidence value less than the threshold delta, it replaces it with the median, just like the red dot. So with the above, not only we bound the range of updates, but also improve the aggregation by just introduce a robust estimator. Now I'm going to detail about our reputation. Our reputation model, which is subjective logic model. The subject logic model is a kind of subset of probabilistic logic that departs the probability value of the belief, disbelief, and uncertainty, as you see in this triangle. And in this model, a reputation score is correlated to a subjective belief in client's behavior. So here, if the updates of client has been rectified by the attack detection scheme, the server regards it as a negative observation. And then the server will punish the negative observation by increasing the disbelief and reduce the corresponding client's reputation. In addition, in order to take the historical reputation in previous run in consideration, a time decay mechanism is introduced. Oh, really? Oh my God. Okay, so to demonstrate how the repetition model evolves, we consider several scenarios, and this is several scenarios we're considering about our repetition model, and you can see we observe that on even just in this scenario, they just conduct a single or a continuous attack, and no matter in which scenario, and once the attacker begin attack, and the repetition score just directly plummet. Okay, go a little bit. Here is our theoretical guarantee about our algorithm. So our major result as a rhythm and corollary and a formal assumption. And you can see here in the theorem, we show that there exists epsilon satisfies the equation 1 with this probability. So it means the convergence of our method to an optimal solution is guaranteed. Continue with the theorem, and in the corollary, we also show that the convergence is guaranteed in bounded time. You can see the iteration there. And there is a kind of trade-off between conversion rate and error rate. Moreover, this will get us about the hyperparameter tuning. I just showed some simple result. This is the main result we use in our paper. We first compare the convergence accuracy of our method with other state-of-art. We just show the training loss, which in the left axis, and the average accuracy, which is the right axis during 100 iteration, and no attack and label flipping attack and backdoor attack with 30% malicious clients for 7 methods, which our method that average residual-based, median, trimming, false god, and FL trust. The results show that our method converge 1.6 times to at least 4.2 times faster than our competing method, and with the same and better accuracy. And also, we analyzed the impact on our aggregation methods as the proportion of the attacker increased from 10 to 50%. You can see our method use lowest attack success rate compared to other methods, and also provide the same better accuracy than that. Actually, yeah, the result is quite awesome. Also, this is for hyperparameter searching, and it shows our method is very stable and efficient for the hyperparameter selection, and it achieves a higher degree of precision. There are many other evaluated results in our paper. Due to the time limit, I'm not going to go through it. I recommend you to read our paper for more information. So this is the last part of our paper. Is just we implement our method in a prototype system called Ether, stand for the elephant in the room, to evaluate the robustness of our algorithm in a very simple real-world setting with the real user. This Ether system is based on user server model, and the user can use it to complete their labeling task. Here is a website of about our experiment. Okay, so in this website, it provides necessary information and instruction on browser extension installation and registration. So upon successful installation, the extension user will receive their task a list of 20 URLs, and they need to visit by clicking it and go to the web page here. So in order to successfully annotate the visit URL, the user needs to select a class from the drop-down menu. The Ether is in the left corner, you can see. Okay, so we give this to 50 real user, and here is the result with the real user. In the left figure, you can see is the repetition score of the real user. It means the majority of them just fall into the intermediate range, which it indicates the the divergence of their interpretation of the sensitive information as we expected. And also, we compare our result with centralized classifier is trained on fixed data set, because the centralized one is trained on the fixed data set. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so in the real user experiment, it shows our replication model is converged as rapid as in simulation and achieve average accuracy of 80%. So which means our solution can quickly learn to classify the site about COVID even with the inconsistent input provided by the real user. So to quickly recap. Okay. So first, we employ federated learning for sensitive content classification, and we design a robust federated learning aggregation with kind of like normal combination with subjective logic model and tag detection scheme. We also conduct theoretical analysis and experimental evaluation to show that our solution outperform other solution in terms of convergence and use the most consistent successful rate. So in the end, we implement and validate with real user using our Ether browser extension. So our implementation is online, and if you have any question, we are happy to take it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. So, thanks for the interesting talk. Do you have any assumptions about the distribution of data of individual clients, for example, IID or whatever?
Non-IID, because that's kind of like a common assumption in federated learning. Is the data distribution is non-IID.
Okay, and the number of clients?
You mean in the simulation?
Yes.
It's like 100.
And you have up to 30% of the clients?
Yeah, not only up to 30%. Actually, yeah, we are. They are colluding or independent? Oh, they're independent. There is no collude between them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have
Hey, thanks a lot for this very interesting talk. Just one question. You mentioned that there is a threshold delta that actually decides whether you replace the model by the median or not. Have you seen during your experiment that this parameter or the necessary value for this parameter is varying a lot, or can it be statically determined?
You mean just during the repeated median, right? And just to check the value? Actually, the value is. Let me check it. Oh, you can't see my slides, sorry. For that, we didn't do a kind of analysis about distribution of the parameter value, but yeah, that's good. That would be a very good point to analyze it.
Is the same value in all experiments?
Yeah, in our experiment.
Thanks for the great presentation. So I have a question. Have you evaluated on the adaptive text? Because from your experiment, I see like you do the vector text in the federated learning scenario. Have you considered like since your approach is trying to kind of find the outlier of those malicious kinds like we can update? So have you considered like if non-malicious content, can I like intentionally to make my updates very close to the benign? This kind of scenario.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Actually, we think about it. First of all, in our experiment, we only consider very kind of like simple attack scenario, which is conducted by the user in real life using our browser extension. But we also consider is about the user, the attacker that they want to attack and spread a long time range and try to become benign and try to recover the reputation score. And the result is in our paper, it shows even they want to do that, they can't do it. But also it's very good to maybe just introduce more kind of like attack in our, in our paper. We will do it in our future work because there are a lot of tech we need to consider about it.